Here's the truth that you need to know about how much sleep consultants actually make. There isn't one salary or schedule, and that flexibility is actually one of the biggest advantages of this career and business. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down how much you could potentially earn as a sleep consultant, what your day in the life is going to look like, and the different ways that this business can fit into somebody's life. I am Marli, the owner of the Cradle Coach Academy, where we train sleep consultants, parent coaches, and newborn care specialists. And we have trained over 600 women to become sleep consultants. I see every single day how these students are performing out in the world and what their income is and everything like that. So I am super excited to kind of share behind the scenes with you, because I know it can be super stressful whenever you're looking into, should I start something new? The investment is so much. Do I want to take the risk on doing this when I don't know what is actually possible? And so I think that just like with anything else, it is super important for you to have that transparency and to understand what you're getting yourself into and what the possibilities are, so that you know whether they actually align with you and your goals. So let's go ahead and jump in. First, let's talk about how much you can actually earn. And so to start there, we need to talk a little bit about what you can charge per family, because that's what it comes down to for the most part for most graduates. This is a service-based business, and so in most cases, you're going to be working one-on-one with families. You provide a service, they pay you for that service. And so most students of our program, whenever they graduate, they come out and start charging between $400 and $600 per package. And in a minute, we'll break down what that package usually looks like and what that schedule and everything like that looks like. But just to get a baseline understanding, again, around $400 to $600 per package. And so what you need to do is you need to take that number and you need to multiply it by how many clients you expect to work with. And that gives you the amount that you could work on, or the amount that you could potentially earn on a monthly basis. Many of our students kind of cap their services at around 8 to 10 clients per month. So if you're charging $600 and you are capping at 10 clients a month, then you're looking at about $6,000 per month. Let's say you have your kids home with you full time. You can only work about 10 to 15 hours a week. And so you want to cap your clients every month at about 6 clients per month. Then again, do the math. If you're charging $600, that would make you earn around $3,600 per month. So a lot of it is based on how much time investment you're able to put into the business, because again, you're exchanging money for a service that you're providing. That service takes time, and so you can't work with an unlimited amount of clients, and therefore your income is somewhat capped by the amount of time that you have to spend serving clients. Now, as you grow a business and you've worked with a lot of different families and you're figuring out what works for you and you're refining your method and your approach, and you are then interested in creating more passive opportunities, there are opportunities to do digital products, to do courses, communities that you're charging a monthly fee for. There are so many different ways to approach it that you can then scale your income without scaling your time. Because if you're doing a community where, let's say you're charging $30 per month per person and you have 100 people in there, you're not spending extra time for every single person that's joining. You're most likely doing like a group call, or you're jumping in every other day and answering some questions in the community. So you're able to serve more clients, and you're able to do it with not as much time as it would be if you were serving all of those clients individually. So again, in that example, if we're looking at $30 a month and you have 100 people in there, that's $3,000 per month. And you could have that in addition to working with 10 clients one-on-one at $600 per package, and that is $6,000 plus $3,000, $9,000 a month. There are also other things to consider here too, that you don't have to limit yourself to just sleep consulting. Sleep consulting in and of itself can be a 6-figure business. You can make a lot of money as a sleep consultant. Some of our students decide that they want to add other services as well. So we have some students that have gone on to become a doula, and they do 1 or 2 nights a week, and they are able to then bring in even more income through that they add to their sleep consulting business. Others become newborn care specialists, and then they're able to add that additional income there as well, sometimes offering like virtual newborn packages, not just in-person support. And so they're able to scale their income that way. Adding lactation consulting is another super popular choice that our students do that adds to your expertise and allows you to serve clients in a different way. So at the end of the day, we have students that are making like $1,500 a month because they literally only work a couple of hours a week. And we have students that are making $10,000, $12,000 a month or even more because they have hired a team, or they have courses that are selling really well, or they have digital products that are selling really well, and they have scaled way beyond what somebody would do independently or without some sort of digital product option. Katie from Well Rested We Ones is one of our graduates. She has an entire team of sleep consultants that work with her and help support the clients that they work with. That is obviously a very different situation from an income perspective than somebody who is a solopreneur working by themselves and serving clients one-on-one and capping out at 10 clients a month. We also have Jessica from Sleepy Moons Consulting, and she made over 6 figures in her first year in business. And now she is bringing on a lactation consultant to work with her and is working on building and broadening her reach as well through that. So again, I think one of the best parts about this business is it can literally be whatever you want it to be. It can be a full-time thing where you are working 40, 50 hours a week if you want to. Most of us get into this because we don't want to do that, but you could absolutely do that and you can make a ton of money. Or you could be, wanting to stay home with your kids fully and give them your full attention and only work whenever they are napping or whenever they go to bed at night, and you could make a couple of $1,000s a month. Or you could fall somewhere in between that. It really is up to you and what is going to work best for your family specifically. So real quick, before we keep going, we have a $7 a month school community where we actually have a ton of resources specifically around income, where you can jump in and learn exactly what you can earn on a regular basis. You can get access to our exit calculator that is going to help you budget and figure out what you need to earn on a monthly basis and how much that translates to in sleep consulting clients. We have graduate stories, free trainings, and a community of other women who are on the same journey as you. There is a 7-day free trial, so there's no risk. You can jump in there, check it out. If it's not for you, cool, you can exit. If it is, then you can stay a while and see what you can learn and see whether sleep consulting could be a good next step for you in your journey. The link is in the description below for you to go start your free trial. So now let's talk about what the schedule and actual lifestyle looks like. So the majority of our students come into our training program while they are still working full-time, and then they end up building their business in the beginning while still working full-time before they ever leave their corporate job. That way they are able to prove the concept and know that it's going to work before they take the risk of taking that leap. I did the same thing. I ended up working in my corporate job, which was an HR director. It was a very intense job. I ended up working in that job for about 7 months after I got certified. And then I was able to see I'm doing well and I could do even better if I had more time. And so I was able to exit my corporate job and become a sleep consultant full-time. And it was life-changing. I literally cannot even imagine going back to the life that I had before, but that's a different story for a different day. So the sleep consulting business is incredibly flexible, meaning you can build it around a full-time job. You can build it around kids being home with you. Whenever I left my job, I had my daughter, who at the time was 2. She was home with me 3 days a week. We pulled her out of full-time daycare, put her in a part-time one. I was still able to grow a 6-figure sleep consulting business while having her home with me several days out of the week. So the way that we actually do this work is almost entirely virtually. We do have some students that do some in-person work and they will charge accordingly for that. So they're able to charge significantly more for that package than they would for a completely virtual package. But I would say about 95% of our students are only doing virtual support. And we at the Cradle Coach only do virtual support as well. The only part of the package that you have to actually schedule and be on a specific timeline for is the initial call that you're doing with the family that you're working with when you are sharing their sleep plan with them and going over everything and answering their questions. That is usually a 45-minute call, and you can schedule it whenever it makes sense for you, and families will be flexible with your scheduling needs as well. And so that is the only thing that you have to actually schedule. Everything else is asynchronous support, meaning you will be either responding to your clients via text message or email. And in some cases, you can use an app like Voxer or Telegram. It's really up to you and what's going to work best for you. So the family, once they start implementing the plan that you went over with them, they will text you their questions or email you their questions, and you respond when you can respond. We recommend looking at your schedule and giving a realistic timeline that is like on the higher end. And then if you answer faster than that, fantastic. But if you don't answer until that timeline is up, then that's great as well. So what I did personally, whenever I was still working full time, I knew that there would be days where I would have back-to-back meetings and I wouldn't be able to check my phone in between. And so I told my clients that I would respond within 6 hours, between the hours of 7 a.m. and 9 p.m. Central. That way they knew, like, if Marli's not answering me right away, it's understandable because she's probably tied up with something, right? So that allowed me to not stress out about wanting to respond to them immediately when I knew that I'd given that expectation. So for you, if you decide, I'm going to have my kids home with me full time and I don't want to be tied to my phone all day, so I'm only going to answer while they're eating lunch and while they're napping, and then after they're in bed at night, then that gives you basically 3 spots during the day where you're able to check in, and you can plan accordingly and give your clients that boundary and expectation from the beginning. So it's so flexible because you're able to basically work around your life. You don't have to plan everything in your life around your work, which is what most of us do whenever we're initially getting into this and wanting a big change, right? So it is super flexible. Jessica, who I mentioned earlier, who did 6 figures in her first year, she has a podcast episode with us. You can go back and listen to that as well and be able to hear her perspective. But she has shared with me that she takes her kids to school in the morning. She works while they're at school. And then at 3 o'clock, she shuts her laptop. She's with her kids, cooking dinner, doing her life after that. And then she doesn't log back on until the next morning. So her clients know she is going to be unavailable from, 3 p.m. until 8 a.m. the next morning. And that's how she runs her business. So you get to decide what it looks like for you. Everybody's different, and your clients will understand and they will flex around your scheduling needs. So the last thing in here that I think is really important to understand is that getting certified is very different than building the business. Those are 2 separate things. You have to be certified in order to start working with families, but you also need to understand how to market yourself, how to sell yourself, how to run an effective business in order to start making money. And so a lot of sleep consultants get stuck in this trap where they think like, I just need to get certified and then the clients will come to me, when in reality, that is not the case most of the time. We need to have a process for finding clients and getting people into our world so they get to know us and they trust us and they want to work with us. And so you have to know how to market yourself in order to grow a profitable business. Again, Jessica that I mentioned earlier has told me so many times that she came into this completely clueless from a business perspective. She almost didn't even start because she was like, I don't know how to run a business. But then our business program walked her through everything and allowed her to hit the ground running and have that result that she had where she earned over 6 figures her first year. So at the Cradle Coach Academy, we teach a very relationship-based process for finding clients and working with families. We believe that this is the relationship business. You're needing to build that trust with families. They need to like you and want to work with you. And so we focus heavily on relationship-based marketing, where we teach you how to do that through social media if you decide that you want to use social media, which is not a requirement. We also teach you to do that through local networking and events like that. We also teach you to do it through strategic partnerships where you actually make connections with lactation consultants, occupational therapists, and so on and so forth, where you're able to have a mutually beneficial relationship where you refer to them, they refer to you, and that continues to grow your business in the background while you focus on serving your clients really well. So at the end of the day, I think it's important to understand that there is not like one definition of a successful sleep consulting business. The goal is just determining what business model is going to work best for you. Do you want to make $10,000 a month? If so, then we're going to have to mix in some passive guides and some courses and things like that to help you scale or have you hire a team. Do you want to make $2,000 a month and work super part-time? Awesome. You can do that. You can absolutely make that happen. You just need to determine, based on everything I shared with you today, whether the business can actually support the income and lifestyle that you're wanting. And truly, it can support any goals that you have. It's just a matter of setting your business up in the right way to allow you to accomplish that. In our business training, we walk you through everything from initially launching your business all the way through to scaling to, again, 6 figures and beyond. So again, if you are interested in joining our Become a Sleep Consultant community on School, there is a 7-day free trial. It has so many great resources for you there. I will, again, point you to the link in the description to join us there. If you want to keep learning more here on YouTube, we have a ton of resources for you here. I would recommend that you go watch the Best Sleep Consultant Certification Program video next. It's going to walk you through what you need to look for whenever you're vetting programs and deciding which one is the right fit for you. I am always available to chat, so if you want to book a free call with me, there is a link in the description for that as well. We can jump on a 30-minute call, talk through your goals, and break down how that could look for you inside our program and how quickly you can accomplish that and everything like that. So I look forward to connecting with you, and I will see you in our next video.